Hi there, I'm Jessica Rose. Welcome to this session on overcoming struggle in your jewellery business. So have you ever felt like you failed in your jewellery business? It's a common feeling that all of us get at some point. So I wanted to use this video to talk a little bit more about failures or struggles and what they can do for our business and also how we can get through them. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about my story today and some of the failures and struggles that I've had before we move on to looking at how we can overcome different struggles in your jewellery business. So for those of you that don't know me, hello, it's lovely to meet you. I'm Jessica Rose and I started making jewellery when I was in my late teens, maybe 19, 20. And I loved the process of making jewellery. I quickly decided that I wanted to become a jewellery designer. Now at the time I was studying and working a job that I didn't like doing. So I made the decision to leave both, which everyone thought was a little bit crazy at the time, and start up my own jewellery business. And if you've ever seen those comedies on YouTube about I'm making jewellery now, it was a little bit like that. I think my friends and family thought I was having a bit of a crisis, and I remember people saying to me that jewellery was a nice idea but not a way to make money, not a way to make a career, and something that I should do on the side. Anyway, I was super passionate about it, so I didn't listen, and I went and did lots of training in jewellery making and short courses, and before long had my business up and running. I then started teaching, which I loved doing, and it was just one community class a month to begin with from a local community hall, and I put little postcards in my post office because that was how we did marketing back then, before social media and the websites and everything else that we have today. And a bunch of people came, which I was so pleased about, and I taught metal clay jewellery, which is a type of silver jewellery to begin with, just once a month. People came to my classes, which was wonderful, and they would say, when can we do the next level, the intermediate level? Or I'd love to learn beading, or I'd love to learn silversmithing. So I started adding more and more classes, and the ones that I didn't feel confident teaching, I got other tutors involved to teach those. So we gradually grew and developed and became the London Jewellery School. I taught them from a community space for a while before getting our own studios in London's Hatton Garden. But it wasn't a smooth ride at all. We built up to becoming one of the world's largest jewellery training centres, and today we've trained more than 20,000 people in jewellery making from our studios. Now, of course, it hasn't all been me. I have a wonderful team of people who teach all of our classes. We have around 25 different tutors and a staff team who run and manage the office. It's a wonderful business and something that I absolutely love doing. But as I said, there have been difficulties, so I'm going to talk you through a couple of my struggles along the way. Now, I was quite young when I started my business and I didn't know that much about finances and accounting. I did try my best to learn, but there was one area that I didn't look at too closely, and that was VAT. I got to the stage where we were earning a profit of around £70,000 to £80,000 in our business. Now, I knew that when you got to £70,000 to £80,000, you needed to register for VAT. What I didn't realise is it wasn't on profit, it was on turnover. Now, turnover is any money into your business, and profit is the excess money in your business. So I had reached the level of 70 to 80,000 in turnover way before I'd reached that in profit. So when I got in touch with HMRC and said I needed to register, they said you should have registered more than a year ago, and you owe us 50 grand and we need it tomorrow. I was in tears. I was so upset that I had made this colossal mistake. I didn't have 50 grand in my bank account. I was employing 4 or 5 members of staff full-time and around 25 part-time, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I'd be able to pay them, if the business would go bankrupt, or what would happen. So I spoke with HMRC, I explained my situation, which, understandably they weren't very sympathetic because ignorance is not a defence. You need to know what you need to know in your business. However, it was my first offence, and I managed to work out a payment plan with them where I'd pay back £5,000 a month for 10 months. Now, anyone that runs a small business will know that this is a big cost, but I worked together with the staff team and we made it happen. Every month, I didn't know whether we'd be able to reach that goal of paying back that £5,000. But we loved what we were doing so much and we believed in it. There was so much to lose that we kept going forwards and pushing. And somehow, through miracles, we got to the end of the payment plan and were able to move forwards with the business. Now, that was a really difficult time for me and the staff team at the jewellery school. And you will have difficult times in your jewellery business. They may not be quite as dramatic as that, but they may feel just as bad. Because when we put all of our love and passion into something and we work really hard for it, it can feel devastating when things don't go to plan. And it doesn't matter if your mistake is big or small. Some of the smallest mistakes that I've made have been the ones that have hurt the most. For example, just saying the wrong thing to somebody and them getting confused and thinking that I'm not nice in some way. Now, obviously, everyone has different personalities, and one of my flaws, I suppose, is wanting people to like me. And that's the same for a lot of jewellers. And in business, it's not always the case. So it's about finding how we work our way through these big and little mistakes. Before I move on to some tips and tactics, I'm going to share one other one with you too. It's not so much a mistake and more of a struggle. And I know that a lot of you guys might be able to relate to this if you've had something similar in your lives. So there was a point in my business where I got very unwell and had health issues. So this was what I would call a type of burnout. I'd been working so hard on my business for so long and I loved it so much that I didn't even see what it was doing to me. Now, this is one of the key reasons why I teach a lot about looking after yourself, about having time out, and about doing the things that you enjoy in your business. It was actually from this phase of burnout that I learnt my process of doing one thing each day, trying to do it really well, doing a bit more if you get time to do it, but only scheduling in one key thing to do each day. Now, burnout is horrible because you feel exhausted, unable to do things. I took nearly 2 years out of my business during this phase. And it was difficult for my staff. They had to hold the fort while I was gone, and they still do an amazing job running the jewellery school while I focus on Jewellers Academy now. Facing burnout is not unique to me. And you might have other health struggles in your life. I know a lot of jewellers who've actually come to jewellery making after having health struggles, either in their previous career or something in your body that you just can't change, some kind of illness. Then we move on to jewellery making. I guess the key message here is just really taking time to look after yourself in your business. Burnout is really common for entrepreneurs because we're so passionate about what we do. We would do it in our sleep if we could. And I don't know if any of you have ever had dreams about jewellery designs or projects that you're working on, but I know a lot of us do. And it consumes your mind because you love it and you're excited by it. And whilst that's great and it's good to use that energy to work towards something positive, it's also important to take time out. So think about what is it that you like to do to take time out of your business. Whether it's relaxing in your pajamas all day and watching some Netflix, or going for a massage, going for a walk, doing some exercise. If you live near somewhere wonderful, going to the beach or a forest, or going on holiday, spending time with your family. It's important we think about these things not just for ourselves, but also for our business. Because if something happens to you that means you're not able to work, there's not going to be a business going forwards, and nobody wants that. So do look after yourself, factor in time to have relaxation and time to rejuvenate so that you can be the best you can be in your business with your creativity and your business mindset. So that's one of the ways that I really like to look after myself in my business. The other tips that I think about when I'm facing struggle or mistakes or difficulties is to just keep going. to just keep showing up and, as Nike says, just do it. So sometimes we overthink things, we worry too much about our emotions or our thoughts, and the real job is just to do the next thing. Get up the next morning, do the work that we have scheduled in, and move forwards. It will soon become better. Even though something can feel like the end of the world when it goes wrong in our jewellery business, it isn't. And there's always a new path that we can take. It's just about giving yourself time and thinking creatively. Get support from those around you through difficult times, whether it's friends or family or other business owners. And if you haven't already, do join our community at Jewellers Academy, because we have a wonderful group of people there that all support each other through the good and the bad. When you have an issue, first assess the problem and try to assess it clearly without emotion. So what is the actual issue? Looking back to my VAT problem, the issue was that I had just made a mistake around taxes and I needed to rectify it as soon as possible. Then make a plan for how you can make corrective action. So again, with that, it was looking at a payment plan. And I spoke to HMRC and said, look, I can either go bankrupt today, in which case you get nothing, or I can do a payment plan and pay you back each month, in which case you will get all of the taxes that I've missed in full, which of course is better for both of us. Learn from your mistakes. So when you make a mistake, make sure that you're able to learn from it. And whether that be something with a customer, like a query, a postage item's gone missing, how to deal with things, learning from it makes it all worthwhile. Don't beat yourself up. It's so easy when we work on our own to beat ourselves up about things that are happening. And try not to be too defensive either. If there's a customer that has an issue, try your best to deal with it in the most relaxed and professional manner. Forgive yourself quickly when you make mistakes. You will look back and laugh at them in the future. And know that you're not alone. That is my final point, is to share that all of us go through struggles and difficulties. So if you're facing something, don't look on Instagram and feel that everyone else is doing perfectly in their business and lives and you're the only one that's not. We all know that what people post on social media is not the truth. It's a version of a lightened reality that they've curated, which is nice because we get to see wonderful pictures and inspiring things. But don't use it to compare yourself and feel bad about yourself. That's absolutely not worth it. So I hope that that's helped with some of your struggles and difficulties that you may face in your business, either now, in the past, or the future. As I said, do come and join us on the Facebook community page to get ongoing support from your fellow jewellers. And if you would like to grow your jewellery business, I would love to help you with that, which is why I've created a free downloadable guide on how to grow your jewellery business. Click on the link below to get your copy straight away. Then you can get started working on tips and techniques, strategies for building a successful, profitable and sustainable jewellery business. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would love to carry on the conversation on social media, so you can find us at Jewellers Academy on Instagram and all the other platforms. Wishing you a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope to see you on another video very soon. Alrighty, bye for now.